you sit here and think about.
Marinate. Hi guys, welcome back to the Maker's Cave. I'm Katrina, and as you can see, we have Optimus in various stages of assembly. We had some recording technical difficulties today. We're not quite sure what went wrong, but I'm almost 98% sure it was something I did wrong. So I filmed pack 4, or so I thought, but it didn't take. And part of pack 5, which luckily for us, it is the almost, I'd say 99% the same build as pack 2 and pack 3. Only instead of the left arm, we're doing the right arm. So in pack 4, we did the upper right arm, starting with the stack, putting the shoulder assembly together and the outer casing for that shoulder, and putting in the movement at the elbow. And that was pretty much everything for pack 4. Again, it looks exactly the same as what we did in pack 2 for Optimus. What we're going to do now is we're going to finish pack 5. And in the first part of pack 5, we did the hand. So again, it was putting together the fingers like we did, and you know, this cover just pops off so I can show you what we did. Putting all these sections together, and then you glue down the caps on so you know, you have that knuckle and articulation of the fingers and the thumb. And then we affix it to, there's holes under here that we attach it to. There's pegs, these pegs that are in each finger that secure it in place, and then we put a cap over it to keep them secure. This is the parts here that make up the wrist, that gets screwed down. And in the palm, we have, this is part of the thumb, and this other part of the palm, the heel of the palm gets affixed to it. And then we put this part of the wrist on, which is, you know, just a collar here that's over a screw that's in there, and it's held on with the 4 screws here. And then after all that's assembled inside, we pop the cap on. Anyway, let me put my glasses on so I can. And I probably should have given you a down view of that, okay, so you could see all of that in here, how it's attached. And then we're gonna put this cap on. Alrighty, so we're gonna put this aside. And then we had moved on in pack 5 to putting this together, which are 2 halves, and then there's a rubber collar. Don't know why it's fighting me. These 2 halves went together. We screwed them in. Then we put the collar on and affixed it to this base with those 4 screws in place. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start assembling the lower part of the arm to the upper part of the arm that I did in pack 4. And that starts with bringing this back, having it like this, oriented like this, and we're going to take these 2 parts and this, We're also going to need this and this once we're all done. And about, I think, three or four 2.3 by 6 screws. So with the holes facing down, so this basically goes together like this, okay, but with this part facing down. So what we're going to do is, with the holes, half of the hole facing down, and you see there's a hole here, that's where this is going to go into, and this has to go in as well, and there is a little slot on either side. You'll see this kind of fits right in there, and then there, snaps right in place, really easy peasy. And then we're going to turn it over, and on the underside, oh, first of all, let's screw it down like so. All right, and then we want to attach this housing like this. It's going to go over. That's what that opening is for. Okay, kind of sits down on there, and you're going to flip it and see these two holes. See down in here, that's how you access the holes to secure this. If you did watch Peck 2, you remember to put the upper part of the arm together. There was a lot of bolts and lock washers and washers. We had some spacers that we had to put in, and just securing it all together, which I think is where a lot of that weight in it is coming from. So it's very, very sturdy and built very well. Oh, can't believe that. I lost the screw. Where'd that go? It's kind of stuck. Oh, there you go. I thought it was going to come out. Okay, so as you can see in there, you see those screw heads, the little black screw heads that are in the hole. So that's how you access them, to screw them in. Then on the back side here, we're just going to snap this piece into place like that. Okay, now we're going to move on to connecting the really connecting the bottom portion of the bottom portion of the arm to the top portion of the arm. So for the main part that we're going to use to attach the arm, the lower part of the arm, which is the interior of the arm, are these, and they're going to go into those holes right here. Let's put the one on the left on. It's larger and has a little small protrusion right here. Okay, and then we can put the ball, set that in place. Okay, and then we're going to put the other side on, and you'll see there's a large piece that sticks out there. That goes, and this top piece is what's going to go in the hole, and that's going to meet up with that little nibby that was on the other side. All right, so here you go. So here's the basically your lower arm, the inside of it, your flesh. And we're going to secure it with a 3x12 screws. So let's, I'm going to put the washer on, and it's going down in there. Need our, and just to remind you, you got this in pack 2. You're going to need it again in pack 4 because everything is with the bolts and the tons of washers, lock washers, and bolts that you have to put in. And this is your main tool that you're using, and a lot of hex nuts, which they did a great job because most of the holes that you put these in are also hexed so that the nut doesn't move. And when you start screwing it in, it grabs instantly because it's not going to spin on you, which is wonderful. Wonderful design. Makes it so much easier. And now we're going to attach the two on this side, which is attaching these two down here. And again, you see the nuts, the holes are hexed. Right here, like that. And you see a lot of that in 4, where you have these hex, look for them. If it says to use a nut, look for the side that has the hex shape in it, and that's where you know the nut goes, so that you can easily put the bolt through on the other side without having to, you know, fight with it spinning. I just put my finger there so it doesn't push out when you're first starting it. Yeah. And then we're going to do the other side. Oh, did that pop out now? Make sure you put your washer on. Back there. See, very easily installed. Okay, we're going to start putting the outer casing on, which, again, a metal piece, you can hear it, solid, nice. All right, so this, move out a little bit because now you can't see what I'm doing. This is going to go here, and there's, see these places for us to attach it, and it's very hard to show you. You kind of sit it down and it sits right on top of where you need to what you need to screw it into, which is nice. Makes it very easy. And if you put this on like oriented the other way, the holes wouldn't match up. So you can only put this bottom piece on one way. And they're held with the 2 by 5 by 5 screws. And actually I should have put oil on the tip of those because I was going into metal. And it would have made screwing them in a lot easier. Okay, look at that, he's shaping up to be an arm. Okay. Alright, I'm going to start skinning him. Let's see. This guy, heavy metal. Heavy metal. And then I'm going to take this yellow piece, which just fits right over the pegs the right way inside there. And they want us to glue it down. Just putting some glue on the base of the peg. There we go. There we go. All right, now that that is on, we're going to secure it to this side. Like so. Okay, and if you look in here, there are 4 screw holes down in here to secure this with PM to 5 by 5, and I'm going to use Rapid Tap this time because if you have Rapid Tap or 3-in-1, oh, I keep squeezing it by accident. If it's these pieces. And I'm going to put one on either side. Okay, like that. Oh, that's right. I need to go down into that metal there. And since I'm going into metal, I need to put some Rapid Tap on it. And go down in here. Oh no. Are you serious? Oh, that came off. I knew that was going to happen. But that's all right. I can put that back on. And then I think you're supposed to put one down there as well. Problem is, I don't have another 2x5, a 2 by 5.5 screw. I'm gonna pop these on. Clearly wasn't lining it up correctly. I did forget to put this panel on that I just popped in there, but it's not a big deal. I laid it down right in there. I don't know how I forgot that. Probably because I'm just having such an off day. So the last thing to do here, is, why don't we try putting the stack back on, huh? See, you know, if you remember, we started with these two pieces, put this on, put the end cap on, and put this on top, and there's a slot that we line up with this slot. So we're going to put some more glue in that slot again. And I'm going to just put zip kicker on the tab. And then when we put it in, it should instantly adhere. There we go. Get him back on there. Okay, all right. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put his hand on. And again, with it upright, this side up, yeah, pops right in. So here is our right arm. And that completes pack 5. Okay, this is pack 5. This is pack 4. Just again, a little bit of an overview. Putting the stack together, putting the inner shoulder together and the rotator together, with a lot of bolts and lock washers, and then putting the housings all on, snapping these pieces on, and ensuring when you put this in that it's oriented so which way? It's up and down. These there's flat sides to this bolt, and they should be up and down. And then putting this the elbow piece together, and then putting the housings on next, and putting the hand together in pack 5, and the fingers, which are, you know, if you remember those little spacers that we used in pack 3, which there were little black spacers that you put in between each one to build the finger, and then we put the caps on. And then what you just watched is the lower portion of the arm that we put together, and then inserting the hand completes the whole right arm. So we have a left arm, we have a right arm, we have a head, and we have part of a chest. But this looks awesome. This is actually the size of my lower arm. That's the length. Impressive. From my elbow to my wrist. So you see the pictures of him and you see the posters of him, and it really doesn't give him justice in how big he's going to be, and you know, the mass of him. You know, you just think height, you don't think of the mass and the room he's going to take up. So this is kind of nice. You can get a better idea of how big he's going to be. So that's really good. As usual, we'll put links below for Agora Models for this one and all the others. I really apologize that I don't know what went on with this thing. I am not that great with the recording equipment. So I do hope that you come back to see what comes next in this build. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. We'll see you at the next build. Have a good night, day, afternoon, whatever it may be for you. Thank you for stopping by the Maker's Cave. See you at the next build.